Hi everyone, this is Mamta Verma. I welcome you to my channel and today we are going to talk about how does the brain learn. Before we dig deeper, I just want to show you how does the brain work. When the brain receives sensory information, such as what we see and hear, is received in the back of the brain, including the occipital and temporal lobes of the brain that is known as recognition network, which is purple in the color, which is also known as what of learning, which aligns perception, language, symbols, comprehension, and also known as representation network. When the information is processed and relayed for meaning in the center of the brain, that is known as affective network, the Y of learning, which aligns with interest, effort, persistence, and self regulation. It is known as engagement network. Now, the information comes to the front of the brain. When information is organized in the frontal lobes for response or action, that is known as strategic network, the how of learning, which aligns with the physical action, expression, and communication. It also is responsible for executive functions of the brain and also known as expression network. Now let's see what are some barriers which impact the learning. So the first barrier is affective network, which is the middle part of the brain, which is why of learning. If the student is in the classroom, the teacher is not engaging the learners, what will happen? The student will not start learning. Sometimes the assignment is too easy or too difficult for the student. They don't want to do it. Or assignment doesn't have any value in their life. They believe, oh, what I will do with this is not going to help me. If they have lack of self-regulation skills, like they cannot focus in the class, they are not ready to learn. They might be hungry, they might be distracted, or the class subject matter is irrelevant or boring. Maybe the student do not like the math class or may not like the English class or language class or science class. What will happen? That is not going to engage the brain. Now let's look at the recognition network barriers, which is the back of the brain. What of learning? Let's say if a student have auditory issues, he doesn't process information, does not hear very clearly. So maybe it's a lot of noise in the room. Maybe music is going on. Maybe teacher is speaking very low tone and the child is not sitting at the back of the room and will not understand what teacher is trying to teach in the classroom. Vision issues. Maybe the student is sitting at the back of the room. There is not proper lighting in the room and student cannot see the board. Attention issues. Sometimes the students are distracted so they cannot focus what is being taught in the classroom. Memory issues. May not retain, may have short-term or long-term memory issues. Processing speed issues. If the teacher is not slowing down the lecture or maybe not providing too much information at one time, too much extraneous information, the student may not process the information. Because research says we always need overlapping of thoughts or overlapping of learning. The student may have language issues. Maybe the teacher is speaking different language or have a different accent and child is coming from different background. Maybe the child is from a diversity. Maybe he's from like a village where those kind of language or academic vocabulary might not be used, so child is not familiar. Then student might have comprehension issues, may not understand what teacher is trying to say because he doesn't have a background knowledge. Or the student is a English language learner. Maybe he's just started learning the language. So these are some barriers. The student may not understand the information given by the teacher or whoever is teaching in the classroom. Then comes the strategic network, which is how of learning. Now, this is the frontal lobe of the brain. If the student doesn't have the writing tool, right? Teacher wants them to copy from the board, right? He doesn't have those. Teacher explained the concept and she wants kiddos to copy the concept, but he doesn't have a sharpened pencil or a pen. Or maybe he is using the laptop or maybe iPad. Maybe the electronic device is not charged. It can be possible the student doesn't have good motor skills. He cannot hold the pencil or he's writing very slow. So the teacher might erase the board because she needs to write something else. There might be reasons the student have poor handwriting or lack of keyboarding skills. Then comes spelling or grammar issues. And lastly, expressive communication issues. Sometimes we have seen the students are shy. Sometimes they have speech issues. They don't want to say anything so that people make fun of him later on, his classmates. I've seen in my background in USA, sometimes I've seen people who are English second language learner, the kiddos in the classroom, they stay quiet in the classroom because like in diverse classroom, the other kiddos they speak English because they are native speakers, and the English language learner doesn't open the mouth. Even he might know the answer because the other kid's gonna make fun of him. So now since we have talked about these barriers, how they impede learning. So I definitely want you to think about it. And thanks for watching. आज के लिए बस इतना ही. फिर मिलेंगे. देखते रहिए मेरे चैनल को. अगर आपका कोई भी सुझाव हो तो कृपया करके आप कमेंट सेक्शन में लिखें, या किसी और टॉपिक के बारे में सुनना चाहें तो लिखें. और जाने से पहले मेरा आपसे रिक्वेस्ट है कि चैनल को सब्सक्राइब, लाइक और शेयर करें. आपका मेरे साथ सुनने के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद.